Steve from Steve Ramone Band here. You're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Hang on, what's that? Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, and I apologize for being 3 minutes tardy.
No, you're good. Where are you located?
I'm in Chicago, South Side. How about yourself?
I am in Richmond, Virginia.
Fabulous. Man, I know there's a really cool, what is it? I'm sorry, is that near Davidson? No, that's not, that's a different college I'm thinking of. I know I played a really cool college campus out near Richmond. It was one heck of a time.
Yeah, VCU is the big one here, Virginia Commonwealth.
That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Perfect.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
How's everything, my friend?
Everything is great. Nice to meet you.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
So let's, we can just jump right in if you want. Let's talk about Steve Ramone, Chasing Daylight, out about a week ago?
It came out on the 19th. That was Friday. So yeah, it was a busy day, and it was the culmination of a lot of hard work and, you know, a lot of great players, a lot of great times.
What was what's been the response to it so far?
So far, it's been really, really good. And, you know, I'm getting a really good response on it from places that typically I wouldn't normally believe that, you know, people would be into the record, because it's not really one of those super heavy records, you know, that Pavement's kind of known for. It's, you know, it's more in the vein of, like, you know, Chips Enough produced the record, so it's more in the vein of like a pop rock record. But I saw a review on it the other day and said unabashedly power pop, and that's exactly how I feel about it. You know, I'm not proclaiming to be some super heavy monster guitar driven band. It's a song band, you know. How
did you get hooked up with Chip? How did you hook up with Chip? He's been on the show quite a bit, and I've done other things with him in the past.
Wow, it's been practically my entire life. So we grew up together in the same area. He grew up in the town right next to mine, but we went to the same school as kids. And his sister, my sister, were the best of friends from you know, very, very young kids. Yeah. And
nice.
then
he's been in a film I did on the hair metal revival, and I've been a fan of the band forever. So that's kind of interesting.
Man, what to love. It's just such a great band. The songs are fabulous, and he's such a great bass player. It's just, and he's really turned into a phenomenal producer and just all around, you know, I mean, he's a renaissance man as far as music is concerned. He's good at it all.
I mean, you kind of have to be in this day and age, right?
I think you do. You have to have the attitude that, like, whatever needs to be done, yeah, I guess I can take care of that for you.
What was the writing process like for Chasing Daylight? Are you pretty much the driving force?
Pretty much, yeah. So there's the two songs, I mean, that I didn't write. One of them's Tranquila, the kind of Latin kind of themed song. That's the 10th track on the record that I co-wrote with Chip. And we actually, you know, borrowed, so to speak, a bit of a hook from a song that he did 35 years ago in one of his first bands before he was ever signed.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm sitting around at his kitchen table and we're talking. He's going through these cassette tapes and stuff. And I hear this, you know, this hook pop up. I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh yeah, that's Zato Cruz, you know, and that's my old band We're Staying. Like, I don't know about the rest of the song, Chip, but that little hook right there,
I need it.
He goes, have at it. So it ended up being that was, you know, that Zato Cruz ended up helping us write this song from Florida, wherever he is right now. But it was wonderful. And the other one, Break Away, was a fabulous, you know, we got together on that one as well, because I had the hook and I had kind of what I wanted to do musically going, but there was some parts missing, and there was, you know, melodic ideas missing and stuff like that. I brought it to Chip, you know, just little pieces I had. And within a half hour, we hashed that baby out. And, you know, we're telling Rob Pose and our guy, hey man, all right, just go give us a beat and, you know, give us the, we get a click going. Next thing you know, Chip puts, I'm playing, just acoustic, but Chip's playing bass plugged in. So now we have a click with Chip's bass line on it. And then we just build it from there. And that's generally how it would go.
So that's interesting you do it that way, because I think, and we're having this conversation a lot on the show, I think when members of bands or writers get together in a room and do something like you just said, you can hear it, you can feel it. The final product is way different than if you were emailing stuff back and forth. Does that make sense?
It absolutely makes sense. It absolutely makes sense for a couple of reasons. You know what? And I'm trying to think of the right word for it. But, generally you can grow tired of the process when you're going back and forth. You can just get worn down, and you can get to the point where it's like, I don't feel like putting down another track here and emailing it and waiting for him to get back to me on this or her to get back to you on this. And it's like, I'm just going to go with this, and you can get tied up in stuff, and exactly what you're talking about when you're sitting there and you're all working in the same room together. The ideas are bouncing off of each other. You're making decisions in real time that you can hear and feel. And then all of a sudden it starts to snowball. And the next thing you know, the music is just kind of like it's laying itself out there for you. And all you got to do is just kind of be this vessel for it to come out and get onto the tape. And that's when it's really fun. And that's why we do this stuff.
And I also feel like all your concerns are correct, but I also feel like you can feel because not everybody is perfect timing, right? Even the best musicians are not perfect, and you can feel the sort of sway and the ebb and the flow, as opposed to everything being so quantized and perfect.
Yep, absolutely. The dynamics are there. Not only that, but dynamic there, but you're feeling the same things, and you're thinking, you're on the same track now, and you're thinking the same thing. So right. it makes the thing, I don't know, it just makes it enjoyable. That's why we play, and that's why we write, and to be able to get into a nice studio, or any studio really, and to record and to create is fabulous. And then we get to do it live as well, and a whole other thing, and that's fabulous as well.
And we don't talk to a lot of power pop rock or whatever you want to call them on the show. It's more geared towards the heavier stuff. But I think what you're doing is so needed in the times we're living in, right? Because people need to get away and get a break from the news and the bullshit. And it's sort of just toe tapping, dancing, swinging with your beer, that sort of thing, right? Am I catching the vibe correctly?
You're absolutely catching it. And I talk all the time about how, for me, when if I'm up there and I see you tapping your toes, or I see you smiling or nodding or whatever, you don't have to go jumping up and down or anything, but if I see a smile on your face, that does it for me. Good old fashioned hard rock or pop rock songs about girls that wouldn't go out with me in high school, or did, right, and then dumped me. And then, it's just a lot of angst and a lot of fun, and maybe a smile or two. One of the songs, Down Falls the Rain, the hook goes, he gets her pillow and I get her pain, and down falls the rain. It's a good old fashioned kind of just like.
So don't take this the wrong way, because it's not meant to be, but it's something you don't have to think about too much, right? They're just relative lyrics. You're not trying to decipher what you're saying. There's no hidden meanings. It is what it is. And I hate to use this reference, but it's sort of what Poison was doing in the 80s, right? Nothing but a good time.
Absolutely. And it's about that. It absolutely is. I got to be honest with you. What does it for me is a 3-minute pop song. I loved the 70s, kind of AM one-hit wonder revolution. I go back and listen to that stuff all the time.
Like the Knack.
But I was a big fan. The Beatles, huge fan of 3-minute super sweet pop songs with really good writing sensibilities. And that's one of the things I think you can say about the record. Is really easy to listen to, but you know what? Sit down and try and figure out one of the songs if you're a musician or whatever. It's not that simple. There are things going on in there.
Yeah, I hope you weren't getting the wrong idea.
No.
I wasn't making it sound like it's simple. It's just,
I want it to sound exactly like what you're talking about. That's the goal. So that to me, that was a wonderful compliment, because that's what we were going for. Absolutely.
I was not knocking the playing at all, because I get that there's a lot of creativity and a lot of talent going into writing songs that are not necessarily so in depth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so heavy. No, I absolutely, totally agree. A lot of cool players on the record. Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake, and
That's funny. He was just on the podcast just before you. I just talked to him literally 20 minutes ago.
get out of here. Yeah, he played guitar on what was it? Time to Go. He played on Tranquila.
Yeah,
he played on a lot of stuff.
He was just on this literally 20 minutes ago. I made some coffee and then talked to you. So,
what a wonderful guy, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, super talented and everything. We grew up together, actually. He grew up in a suburb, like no more than 5-10 miles away from where I grew up. We had friends, and as teenagers and stuff, we were acquaintances, and he was always a great player.
Yeah.
Always great. Yeah.
And he's got his hands in a million different things, which is really funny.
Well, yeah, everybody with a little piece of Joel, and I don't blame him because the guy's fantastic.
Right.
Hello out there.
Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together, we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.
So what are you planning on taking this project out on the road, or is that not really a thing because of all the guest players?
No. Actually, the Steve Ramone Band is a thing, and it's got a regular lineup. The only change here will be and the answer is yes. We're going on the road. First show will be August 27th, and we'll be playing with the Midnight Devils and Yngwie. And,
oh wow!
Yeah, I know, right? That's at the Hobart Amphitheater or something like that. But then after that, I'll go on tour with Glenn Hughes as well. So he's doing the 50th anniversary thing for Burn. So that should be right up our alley there, because it's when we play live. Oh, and by the way, Chip's going to be playing bass on tour for us.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's even cooler. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And with Chip in the band gets exponentially heavier. It's so
right. And if you've been friends forever, then it's kind of like just getting out on the road with your buddies.
We know all of each other's songs. I've known Chip and the guys since forever. Actually, Don, I bought my first guitar from Don B. So we've always and I played guitar in Enough's Enough for a couple of years there when they were between guys. So I know all the songs. We know each other backwards and forwards. It's a lot of fun. Absolutely.
That's awesome. When you're writing these songs, do you pay any concern to how they're going to come across on stage? Or are you writing a song just sort of like for the song's sake?
Yeah. I must admit that I am not. I have written songs for a specific necessity within the set. We need a burner here, and I need an original burner here. It can't be like something that the band picked up, or a fun cover or something that we like to play. I have done that, but I must admit that my writing style. I work on a, how in economics you have supply and demand. In my writing style, I have economics of songwriting. And if hooks and titles are in supply, then you'll be getting some songs,
right.
and because, but there's strict, Fig Newtons of my imagination. It's like I just write songs to write songs, and I try and think of how I can best make them come out, and I never ever think about if they're going to be played live until I get done recording, and then I'm like, oh man, how am I going to play this live?
That's what I was going to ask you. Have you ever gotten to a song where you're like, shit, I can't really do this?
Chasing Daylight.
Really?
Isn't that ridiculous? The title track, Chasing Daylight, is 6 minutes long and something. It's slow. It's down tempo. So you really have to have a powerful thing going on for it to be right. Let's say you're opening for Glenn Hughes or something. You're getting 30 minutes. You can't take 6.5 of those minutes to do the title track. That's just going to bring everybody down and stuff like that. Perfect example of that. Absolutely, man.
Interesting. Shoot, I just lost my total train of thought.
So,
You got me thinking
that
about
was
Glenn
good.
Hughes.
You got me thinking about that. How I can't even play my title track on a live.
Sorry, my dogs are gonna go crazy now too because I just banged on the desk.
I do. Oh, well, yeah. I got monsters up there too, man. So God forbid, a Chihuahua walks by the window or something
Right.
like that. They go insane.
All right, so I'm gonna ask this next question. I'm gonna mute myself so we can keep going here. But how did you hook up with Pavement? Because, like you said, it's not your normal Pavement fare.
So it was a really cool, when preparation meets luck and opportunity type deal. Chip had been working with Artists Worldwide forever, Chuck Bernal out of Artists Worldwide. So they had booked together, and then I started playing with Enough's Enough. So there was that little string there, that little line there. It worked quite a bit. And they said, Ramone, I don't know if this will be just like perfect for you, if this would be right or not, but if you want to dig in a little bit, let's see if we can make something happen. So I threw them some songs. They came back and said, you know what, these are good songs,
Right.
So let's go forward with something. And that's just how it turned out.
That's
and
great.
God bless those guys. Tim King and Mark Navarro, God bless those guys, because they've done this quite a bit now. They've been like, you know what? These are good songs. This is good material. Let's go with this and let's see what happens here. So
we talked to a lot of Pavement artists, and yeah, they've always been great.
Hats off to them. Absolutely. Big fan. I'm a big fan.
So what is next for, I know you said you've got the tour coming up then, but what are you doing in the meantime? You're releasing more singles like the new business model, or how are you?
There you go. That's it. Singles and then videos. So I'm also working on another video for the Breakaway song, and then we're gonna try and do something for Tranquila, because we're like, let's go to Miami. So
why not? Right.
So yeah, absolutely. We found that one of the better ways to get these songs out is a bit old school, which is you have that video ready to go with the song when it comes out. There's a fabulous video for Jump On It that we recorded with this kind of kitschy little ice cream parlor kind of vibe to it. That's available on the website, or it's on any of the pages or whatever. Or you can go to its website and it's right there as well. But yeah, videos.
I think I know the music business has changed, and I talk to people all the time, and a lot of people are just doing like a single here and a single there every 6 weeks just to to stay relevant or whatever. So when I see somebody actually putting together a full release record, it's really nice.
Thanks, man. It is cool, and we talk about it all the time. And Chip has a real nostalgic vibe about it. I have more of a kind of practical feeling about it, but it gets to the same spot either way, which is that this is how we do it, and it's like I get there's a model where we could just throw single after single after single out. Right. We're not really trying to. I know I'm not going to be the next Justin Bieber or anything like that. That's not going to happen. What I can do is create a really cool rock and roll experience, both in a live format and a studio, but it happens to be a digital format now, but you can buy the CD if you want to as well, because I have Sony distribution. So anywhere you go to in South America or wherever, you can get that CD proper right there, which is a fabulous thing. It's old school, but we're taking care of our niche. I'm not worrying about everybody else's niche. I'm taking care of my niche.
And I think we've grown up in probably the same sort of circles or the same time frames anyway. There's an art to sequencing as well, right? That's totally lost.
Absolutely, there is. And there's a reason why it wasn't just we didn't go with hit first, right? We didn't go with the one that we planned on taking to radio right off the bat and put it first, and then the next best one and the next best one. That's not how an album works, Right. If you listen to Chasing Daylight, it moves. It moves from one experience to another, and it rises, and it falls, and it's how it used to be, how it should be.
Right, because you create a sort of mood and a flow that you want your listeners to hear it.
Absolutely. If you've got the 44 minutes and 30 seconds, like on a drive or something like that, and you pop that baby in, and it's just the right time of the day, and the sun's coming up, or the sun's going down, or just wherever you happen to be happens to be nice and pretty or whatever, you can cop that vibe if you take a listen, you know. So that's part of the idea. That's part of what we try and bake into everything we do. That's the experience, the vibe, the tingly feeling, the almost nostalgic kind of thing, and then the appreciation for the musicianship. You know, if you listen to the stuff and you're like, damn, these guys could play for Steely Dan if they had to.
Right. I think it's really interesting because, you know, kids like my son's age, they're doing the one song, 30 seconds, and then they're ready for something else already. They're not really consuming the way, yeah, that's exactly right. And, you know, 30 seconds, if it doesn't totally move me, I'm already on to the next thing. But, you know, I love the idea of sitting with an album and, you know, digesting it the way you wanted it sequenced and, the way it was meant to be, and reading the liner notes and doing all that shit.
Opening up the liner notes is one of the things that I absolutely love to do. Always hated it when I got CD liner notes and the type and the
right.
print was just so small.
I need thicker glasses, right?
Yeah, right. And then it was like almost an afterthought. Well, you know what's like, I don't want to make it difficult. It's like mine. It's there's not that much there, but what is there is really cool, and you can then you can read it. You know, and it's like I love doing that stuff.
Even beyond the lyrics, who you thanked, where it was recorded, who the assistant engineer was, all that weird stuff that maybe makes me nerdy, but I know a lot of people like that as well.
Absolutely. And, you know, the players, we did something really cool with this one where we didn't like really say, okay, well, this guy from this band played on this song and this guy, you know, we took all the players and there's quite a few, and we listed them alphabetically. Here you go. And, you know, right. That, and as it turns out, Chip and Donnie ended up at the very, but, both of them, right. Put a lot of work into this. So it was really cool. But yeah, we don't really want it to be about that. It's just very practical, very like, here you go. These are workmen. These are craftsmen. Right.
That's beautiful. That's
and they all, and don't get me, and don't let them tell you otherwise. They love seeing their name on record.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So that's going to bring me to the end of my questions. Did I miss anything you want to cover?
No, just that, if you see the band out there, please come on out. Please download the record. That's how we keep things going. That's how live original music is gonna keep happening. If people download the records and stuff like that, we'll actually be able to get out there and play for them live, because
where can listeners find you?
You can find me at steveramone.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at Pavement. And you can go to any single one of your streaming platforms, whether it's Spotify or Amazon or YouTube, or YouTube, iTunes or whatever.
Right
there, man. We're absolutely there. You can just click away and, buy two, they're small.
So awesome. And like I said, it's not our typical fare for this show, but I encourage everyone to go take a listen, and nothing but a good time, right? That's what it's about.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Did you listen to the record?
Yes, I did.
Absolutely. Any personal favorites there?
I don't know. I really like the Chasing Daylight single. I think that was, I know you said it's too slow, but I think it moves, and it's sort of kind of got like the emotional thing to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't say it wasn't one of my favorites. I absolutely love the song. It's just really hard to play live.
Right. No, but I think once you put on headphones and listen to it, it's actually really, really good.
Oh, appreciate it. Really love hearing that, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Good luck with the record.
Take care, brother. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.